You know what? Every so often EastEnders gives us a week that feels like classic Walford, messy families, secrets that won't stay buried, a wedding, and of course, the kind of cliffhanger that leaves you staring at the screen. Next week really is one of those weeks. We're talking a reunion that's been 20 years in the making, a wedding that nearly doesn't go ahead, and then spoiler 3, trust me, that one's massive. It's the storyline that could change everything on the square, so make sure you stick with me right through to the end of the video, because you don't want to miss it. And if you're new here, welcome to Episode Whisper. Hit that subscribe button now so you never miss your weekly spoilers and drama updates. So let's get into it. Here are your 3 big spoilers for Monday 1st September to Thursday 4th September. First up, and honestly, this one's going to hit long-term fans right in the heart. Kat finally comes face to face with her daughter Zoe after all these years. Now, if you watched back in the early 2000s, you'll never forget the Kat and Zoe storyline. That explosive, "You ain't my mother" moment is one of the most iconic scenes in soap history, and since Zoe left the square in 2005, we've been wondering if the writers would ever bring her back. Well, here she is. The way it happens is full of tension. Kat is already frantic, desperate to find Tommy, fearing the worst. Alfie's right there with her, trying to stay calm but clearly terrified. Then she gets that message from Tommy and realizes he's nearby. You can almost feel the relief coming off her, but it doesn't last. Because when she hears his voice, another voice follows Zoe's. Can you even imagine that moment? Kat turns around and there's Zoe, standing in Albert Square for the first time in 20 years. I reckon half the audience will have goosebumps. But it's not all hugs and smiles. Zoe isn't the same young woman who stormed off all those years ago. She's older, harder, and carrying secrets of her own. Kat's desperate to close the gap between them, but you can tell it's not going to be easy. The history, the lies, the betrayal, it's all still there in the air. And it's not just Kat. Big Mo is also reunited with Zoe, which is bound to give us some emotional scenes. Mo's sharp tongue usually has us laughing, but when it comes to family, she feels everything deeply. The big question now is what Zoe's been doing all this time. The writers are clearly holding something back. She's hiding something, and once it comes out, Kat's reaction could change everything. Could Zoe's secret destroy this fragile reunion before it's even started? This is the kind of storyline that reminds you why you've stuck with EastEnders for years. It's emotional, it's messy, and it brings back the ghosts of old storylines. Honestly, I can't wait to see where they take it. Spoiler 2, Patrick and Yolande's wedding. Next up, let's talk about something lighter, at least at first. Patrick and Yolande are finally tying the knot again. Now, Patrick and Yolande have always been one of those couples you can't help but root for. They've had their ups and downs, plenty of breakups and make-ups, but deep down you always knew they belonged together. Seeing them walk down the aisle again feels like a gift to the fans. But of course, this is EastEnders, so nothing goes smoothly. At first, Patrick is ready to call the whole thing off. After everything that happened with Oscar and the stolen money, his heart's just not in it. He feels humiliated, betrayed, and let down. And when you're carrying that much pain, the idea of celebrating feels impossible. Yolande, though, isn't ready to give up. With Denzel's quiet optimism and support from the Fox sisters, Kim and Denise, she pushes to keep the wedding on track. And let's be honest, Kim and Denise organizing a wedding behind Patrick's back is the sort of chaos we all love to watch. On the big day, guests are waiting, half expecting to be stood up, when finally Patrick and Yolande arrive together. And just like that, the wedding is back on. It's such a lovely moment, the kind that gives you a smile after weeks of heavy drama. Seeing Patrick and Yolande back where they belong, promising to stick together no matter what, feels like classic EastEnders. But it's not all happy faces, because while everyone's raising a glass, Howie is standing there weighed down by guilt. Remember, he's been carrying the secret that he blackmailed Oscar over Patrick's stolen money. The man feels awful, and you can see it all over his face. He wants to be happy for Patrick, but he knows he's part of the reason things got so messy in the first place. Will he break down and confess? Or will the guilt eat away at him until it explodes later? Either way, this wedding may be remembered for more than just the vows. And as we know, the celebration at the Vic doesn't end the way anyone expects. If you're still watching and enjoying these spoilers, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button. It's the best way to keep up with all the big EastEnders updates every week. And if you're already subscribed, thank you, you're part of the reason I keep doing these videos. Spoiler 3, the gunshot that stuns Walford. It's always the way in Walford, isn't it? Just when everyone's raising a glass and celebrating, disaster strikes. That single gunshot cutting through the wedding atmosphere is going to completely change the mood. And you just know the whole square will be buzzing with shock and gossip the minute it happens. The fact that it all starts with Jack catching Oscar holding the gun makes it even heavier. Jack's a copper, but more importantly he's a dad, and the thought of his son even touching something so dangerous is terrifying. You can imagine the mix of anger, fear, and pure panic running through him in that moment. And then Oscar begging him to just get rid of it. That's the kind of secret that never stays hidden for long in Warford, and of course, Ravi sticking his nose in. No shock there, is it? If there's drama, Ravi's never far away. Him overhearing the conversation and then breaking into the house shows exactly the kind of ruthless streak he's been running on. He's desperate to protect himself, but in typical Ravi fashion, he ends up making everything 10 times worse. Denise spotting him sneaking out is such a classic move too. She doesn't miss a trick, and you just know she's going to call him out. Her rushing straight to Jack adds fuel to the fire. And by that point the whole thing is a ticking time bomb. Jack confronting Ravi was never going to be calm, the history between them, the tension with Denise, it's all been bubbling for ages. So when emotions boil over and the gun goes off, it feels like everything finally explodes. The shock of that sound will ripple right through the Vic, where minutes earlier Patrick and Yolande's wedding had everyone laughing, cheering, and dancing. 1 second it's champagne and confetti, the next it's silence and fear. You can picture it, everyone inside frozen, waiting, desperate to know who's been hit. That's EastEnders at its best, dragging the audience right into that moment of dread. And honestly, anyone could be the victim. Jack, Ravi, or maybe someone completely out of the blue. Imagine if it's a guest at the wedding. That would really send the place into meltdown. The big thing is the fallout. Whoever's been shot, it won't just be about hospital scenes and who survives. It'll be about blame, secrets spilling out, and families at war. Jack and Denise's marriage could take another hit. Ravi's enemies will circle, and Oscar's involvement is bound to come out sooner or later. This is exactly the kind of storyline that keeps people talking for weeks. It's dangerous, it's messy, and it leaves the whole square shaken. And you can bet fans are going to be split, some wanting Ravi finally taken down, others worried it's one of their favorites lying in that hospital bed. Either way, this is going to be one of those classic EastEnders moments we'll be remembering for a long time. So there you have it, 3 huge spoilers for EastEnders next week. Kat and Zoe's long-awaited reunion, Patrick and Yolande's wedding joy, and the gunshot that leaves a life hanging in the balance. It's a week packed with nostalgia, celebration, and danger, everything EastEnders does best. Now I want to hear from you. How do you think Kat will react when Zoe's secret comes out? Do you think Howie will confess what he did to Patrick? And most of all, who do you reckon is going to be shot? Drop your theories in the comments, I love reading through them, and seeing what other fans are thinking. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next spoiler drop. It really helps grow our little soap fan community here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you back here soon for more EastEnders drama.